This week, the Alberta government made headlines with the announcement that a number of books containing graphic sexual content were discovered in public schools, which were available to students from kindergarten age and upwards. So why are these books in our school libraries, and where do we go from here? Joining us to discuss this is Jeff Park. He is the Executive Director of the Alberta Parents Union. Jeff, it's great to have you with us today.
Thanks so much for having me, Naveen.
So Jeff, can you just tell us a little bit about what your organization is all about?
Yeah, the Alberta Parents Union is a group of grassroots parents who, starting just in May 12th of 2022, we're a relatively new organization, felt that the loudest groups that claimed to be speaking for parents were not up to the task, and we weren't feeling heard, especially groups like the Alberta School Councils Association, which increasingly sounded more like a teacher organization, teacher union organization, especially than a parent organization. And so we felt at that time that it was time to raise our voices and make our voices heard, both on the provincial level and at the school board level.
Now, these books were found in libraries in Edmonton and Calgary after parents complained to the schools. What kind of graphic content are we talking about here?
Well, we're talking about the kind of graphic content that I assume you won't even be able to show on your family program here, or if you do, it will be heavily edited. And we should note that those blurs, if they are being shown, were not there for the 5-year-olds who could have accessed them in their elementary schools. And so we're talking about very graphic sexual content. We're not talking about diagrams or instructional material. We're talking about illustrations of sexual acts that are 100% not appropriate for children.
Now, I know the Alberta Teachers Association is complaining that the government is targeting the LGBTQ+ community, but the books seem to have content in them like that suggests pedophilia, incest, also suicide ideation. So that should concern both heterosexual and LGBT members of the community.
Absolutely, and some of these themes we're even concerned about as we get up into older age ranges. Anything that could be reasonably taken to encourage underage sexual activity, reasonably taken or taken by a teenager, which may be a lower level of reasonableness, to encourage underage sexual activity is inappropriate for children of any age, really. But a lot of these materials we're very concerned about at the younger ages, and frankly, we find it offensive, the idea that to promote understanding of marginalized sexual minority communities would require graphic sexual content shown to children. I think that is not going to promote understanding of minority sexual communities at all. And were I a representative of them, would not want that to be claimed of me.
So does anybody review these books before they hit the shelves, and if so, who does the review and gives the thumbs up?
Right. So it is teacher librarians are the main folks who would be doing those sorts of reviews. There always has been a process to challenge these books and everything, but it's been, especially in Calgary and Edmonton, where these books were found in 57 school locations, by the way. Especially in Calgary and Edmonton, it's been very opaque. Parents have not felt that they were really being heard. They don't even know whether the books were removed from the shelves or not. They go back to find them again, that kind of thing. And it is important to note that these teacher librarians are stretched. The Alberta Teachers Association is saying that it's because there's not enough funding from the provincial government. Of course, that funding has only gone up and up and up. Overall, the overall funding has only gone up and up and up. It's really the decisions being made at the school board level that matter for those sorts of things. So to encourage, you've got the situation where you have one school library, or teacher librarian covering multiple schools, which is how one of the ways it gets to 57 schools instead of only a few is because you've got one person with more of an activist bent who wants these books, and it'll end up in multiple schools that way. So if Calgary Board of Education and Edmonton Public School Board would like to prioritize more teacher librarians so that we can have a better conversation between parents and those teacher librarians, rather than some of the, frankly, just spacewalks of priorities that they set at the moment. That would be welcomed by parents.
Now, we talked about some of the graphic content. We mentioned suicide ideation. We mentioned incest. We mentioned pedophilia. What else have you heard about the content of these questionable books?
Mm-hmm. So, right, a lot of the concern stems from those sorts of things. These very weighty themes that some of the authors of these books say, this is a memoir about me as a teen, but it's not supposed to be for teens or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be for other adults to read and reflect on how members of this community might have felt when they were growing up and that kind of thing. It's not supposed to be for kids. It's certainly not supposed to be for elementary kids, but even maybe not for kids that are going through puberty and having struggles with suicidal ideation or having struggles with some of the themes in the book may not be appropriate for them as well.
Now, Jeff, there's some good news here, because the Alberta government is actually looking for feedback to voice their opinion on the issue. They're looking for input about what parents think are appropriate standards for school library collections. Now, parents don't have much time. They have until June 6th to fill out the online survey. We're going to put the link up on the screen for our viewers to watch. What do you think the public response will be?
Well, first of all, I'll warn them that you can click on very graphic images so, if you're going to take the survey, don't do it right with your kids over your shoulder. Because you can see some of the images from the books at that survey. It has warnings as well, but I'll warn folks not to plan to do it in front of their kids. And yes, we expect to see a huge response. We actually emailed out to our supporters that the record-setting response for an Alberta government survey ever was about cell phones in classrooms, and we got 68,000 responses on that one. We expect this one to break that record. Even we think parents are very engaged on this issue and want to see some more rational policies on that. So we're predicting that it'll blow that 68,000 out of the water. And on the first day, 20,000 parents took the survey. So wow. We're well on our way, and we'll be sending out reminders to our parents as well, if they missed it on the first day.
So what are the guidelines when it comes to what content is appropriate? Because I understand these are voluntary guidelines, and this survey could actually be a game changer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, I think it does make sense to have more local standards and more local conversations. It's always better when you can have these discussions between teachers and parents, between librarians and parents, between principals and parents when it's necessary, and not have to have everything be a top-down educrats in Edmonton or the Minister of Education making every decision. But clearly something has gone off the rails here, and parents were raising this issue as they were not able to have those simple conversations with the local decision makers. So to have some sort of policy that make sure that those conversations happen and that they matter, that would be great to see.
Now, any changes from this survey, they're not going to affect public libraries because, of course, those are available to adults as well. However, library leaders and teachers unions say that they're worried that this will lead to book bans like they have in the U.S. What are your thoughts, Jeff?
I do find it funny when the accusation comes that this is sort of manufactured, imported from the United States. Yeah, the books themselves were imported from the United States. These are American authors, American books that are being put in classrooms in Alberta, and they are 100% libraries in Alberta, and sometimes classrooms, and they are 100% inappropriate for young children. So, and then the response has been to import the American culture war response of, oh, you're banning books if you don't want kindergartners to have access to very graphic sexual material. So yes, it's being imported, but not by regular parents who just don't want their kids to have access to this material.
Right. Now, have any public school leaders considered what happens when younger children are exposed to sexually explicit material? Like, I mean, like, what is the emotional and psychological impact?
Absolutely. So we know for sure that that for all kids, especially actually when kids are coming up on puberty, to have some of these ideas promoted away from their parents without having to have parental guidance to sort of keep these ideas and these conversations on the rails. We know that that can have a tremendous impact on kids, and it's really one of the other things I wanted to point out is that's why we see this kind of conflict as sort of inevitable when you've got a sort of a one-size-fits-all system making these sort of decisions. That's why we think it's better to have parents be put more in the driver's seat by things like having choice in education, so that parents can have more of a say in who their kids' teachers are and what that relationship will be with the school, and put parents back in the driver's seat, including those of us who choose to send our kids to public schools. The competition itself lifts all boats.
Now, just looking at students in school right now, like school-aged children, they seem to be dealing with more complex issues than we were dealing with when you and I attended school, and it's like their brains have been forced to mature faster. So my question to you, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this already, but do we want a society where we allow activists to put books in our schools that try to normalize and encourage sexualized behavior in children?
No, of course not. The argument's often raised of some sort of a slippery slope, but the slippery slope runs both directions, if you will. So I think it's actually pretty clear to draw a bright line between keeping graphic sexual material away from young children and broad book bans of anything the government doesn't like, and we'll be the first to speak out against it. As, by the way, we were one of the only organizations, certainly not the Alberta Teachers Association, speaking out about when Peel District School Board in Ontario buried every book in their collection, in their library collection, I think published before 2014 was the cutoff because of outdated themes and that kind of idea. So whichever direction, real book banning or real across the board heavy-handed restriction on what children have a right to access, if that were to ever come, we would be the first to speak out against it. But the slippery slope runs the other direction, I would say more slipperily, if you will, where if we think it's acceptable to share sexualized material with young children, where's the bright line on that? That's of much greater concern to parents.
Now, we're just going to put that link up on the screen right now for people that are watching and want to fill out the survey. Besides filling out the survey, what else can concerned parents do? Like, should we be writing to our MLAs, writing to the premier, contacting our school board or school trustee, writing to the ATA? Like what else can we do?
Right. I'm not sure writing to the ATA is going to get you a lot of joy, unfortunately. I wish they did listen to teachers to start with, but parents especially. But yes, you can absolutely, I would say, writing to the Minister of Education and thanking him for this, writing to the Premier, thanking them for the opportunity and encouraging them to follow through on the feedback that they receive from parents. And then, yes, I think it makes sense to go to your school board and ask why was this not already a done deal? Why do we need the province to reach in to these issues? Why isn't this already being handled by you folks who are supposed to have a closer relationship with us than the provincial ministry? And then finally, you can sign up for updates from us at albertaparentsunion.ca. The whole front page is how you sign up to be on our mailing list. And we'll let you know. The thing parents appreciate about us is we're not going to tell you to call your MLA every month. We'll tell you, if you call your MLA this month, it might actually make a difference. And folks, busy parents with multiple kids, maybe in multiple schools and all that, and soccer practice and hockey practice and all that, don't have to obsess about politics. Pay us to do that. we'll or don't pay us. It's fine. You don't have to pay us to be on our mailing list, and we'll let you know when the big stuff is coming down the pike.
And very quickly, because we're almost out of time, we should also mention that parents have something in their arsenal, because it's only a few months away, but we have an opportunity to vote in better candidates for our school boards this October. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. So October 20th, we're having it at the same time as the mayor and council elections. We're having school board elections, and you know, the turnout for school board elections is very low. So if you actually seek out good school board candidates, if you even go out and help them, most good school board candidates don't have volunteers outside their immediate family. So if you even just help them by knocking on doors or handing out leaflets or something like that. But certainly if you seek out the information and vote for better school board candidates, we can absolutely have a better relationship with parents that way as well.
Jeff Park is the Executive Director of the Alberta Parents Union. Jeff, thanks so much for your time today.
Thanks so much.
I'm Naveen Day. On behalf of all of us here at Bridge City News, thanks for watching.